So here we are in sunny West London, and we're just opening Butter's beautiful gate. God, it's in the most glorious gloss, and entering an urban jungle of heavenly stuff. So let's ring the bell. Hi,
Hello.
Butter.
Come on in. It's so nice to see you. What a day.
I know, isn't it glorious? Hello, I'm Paddy O'Donnell, and this is the Chromologist from Farrow, the podcast where paint and colour meet life. Today's guest on the Chromologist is the supremely talented designer Butter Wakefield. Butter grew up on the east coast of the US and was surrounded by beauty, and with her mother and grandparents being keen gardeners, it was only a matter of time that this became par for the course. After an initial stint in interior decoration at Colefax and Fowler in Brook Street, Butter transitioned into the world of gardening, having trained at the English Gardening School and more recently the London College of Garden Design. She has her own small garden design studio, creating beautiful spaces no matter what size around London and beyond. Butter, it's so lovely to be here in your madly decorous home that is kind of shimmering with luster and punches of vibrant colour, and it's kind of intoxicating. I kind of don't know what to say.
Pretty
I'm kind of
ridiculous,
just scanning and scanning and scanning and seeing new things and beautiful things. And
sometimes I think it's all nonsense and should be stripped down and, we should start again. But then I think, no, it's okay. There's nothing like a bit of colour and layers of interest,
As a child, were you a collector? Because this is a home of a collector, isn't it?
Well,
sorts.
Curiously, my grandparents were same good gardening grandparents. They had a beautiful house full of bits and pieces, beautiful artwork and fabrics and porcelain and silver. So I suppose it is in there.
So yeah, still scanning Butter's glorious double aspect. Sitting room, drawing room. How grand are you here?
I do call it a drawing room.
Okay.
I think my ceilings are high enough that I can just about get away with it in my sort of Edwardian villa.
But it's really interesting because you've got your walls are essentially grey.
Yes, good old lamp room.
But you've got these wonderful punches of colour. So your interior bookcases here are Charlotte's Locks in full gloss, which are layered in ceramics and jugs and lusterware and plates and everything. And,
some pictures as well. I think pictures on a bookshelf are rather fun. I feel like books are great, but pictures and books on a bookshelf are even better.
Yeah, well, yes, in my bedroom at home and the guest bedroom, I've got a picture hanging. It kind of just breaks. I love bookcases and I love books. We've got too many books, but can you have too many books?
I don't think so, no.
And I've definitely broken up that kind of regularity of a dress shelf with some pictures kind of at eye level height.
Yeah, nice.
And it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Because there's so much colour in the room, I really think the lamp room grey really kind of sets everything. It works with every colour, I sort of feel. I don't know what you think, but it looks great with greens, but then it looks great with oranges and pinks and everything else.
You're so good because you're making me change my mind a little bit. I think I'm a bit of a grey naysayer because this is anything but a grey interior. So it's just your backdrop, isn't it, to let everything else register.
Sort of shine.
And what aspect are we here?
So this is east at the front,
okay,
so we get a lot of light there, and then the back of the house faces west, and that's flooded in light. And the light is, I have a real phobia of bright light. I don't know what it is. I just find it makes me sort of feel quite peculiar, a bit overheated, and it's just a bit glary and hurts my eyes. So the blinds are always closed.
This is not a privacy issue. It's just
not a privacy issue at all. It's just the need for sort of shaded, cool light, really. So.
And is that an antidote to working outside, do you think?
Possibly, actually. I think it really is. There's all that glary sunshine all summer long, and I just want to come in and sort of close the curtains and sort of hide.
Do you not have a massive... Are you not one of those kind of eccentric gardeners, the aristocratic British gardeners of the 30s and 40s with jaunty straw hats? Or...
Yeah, no, that's not me. I can't bear a hat because they make me hot, and also they always fall off. When you're upside down, they're always falling off.
No, but then you need a nice Irma's headscarf over the top and tied under your chin.
Okay, I'm going to try that out, and I'm going to take a photograph, and you're going to have a little laugh, I think, Paddy.
Okay. So, as you know, dear Butter, we're starting off with your childhood. So, can you remember the colours you chose?
So, I grew up spending a lot of time at my grandparents' house outside of Wilmington. And my grandmother, like me, had a great love of floral There's, florals everywhere. And she loved pink and red. And because of her, I'm sure it's because of her. She was called Granigator too, so she had a great name.
Okay.
So my choices of childhood were pink and red, and it's Radicchio and Ranwali. I love both of those colors together.
Okay. What is that, a blue? Is that a flower thing?
I think yes, I think it is. But I remember in her drawing room, she had lots of pinky red floral chintz, actually.
Okay.
And it was that color combination, and she was a great flower arranger, and she, like me, loved a bit of clashy colors, so she was never afraid to put a bit of orange with a bit of pink, and a bit of pink with a bit of red, and a bit of orange with a bit of red. So I think it really does come straight down the maternal line, really, for me, that those memories of. And she was a great collector of bits too, so I was entranced by her. I was absolutely entranced. It was the biggest treat going to stay with her, really was.
Did she let you potter with her in the garden, or?
Well, my grandfather absolutely did not let us potter. He was quite strict. But my grandmother was heaven, and she absolutely did. And she had her own little flower room, and she was forever cutting and arranging flowers. And I'm sure that I got that from her as well.
The bug started there. Did that colour skip a generation with your mother? Is your mother more restrained?
Yes, she is much more restrained. She is, but although she's got our library, and it sounds a very grand term for the room that we call the library. It's got some books, but it's not a grand library as such. Is the best. It's kind of Charlotte's Locks, but even darker and richer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so she isn't shy of color, but she's got much more restraint than I do.
Okay.
But my ma is an incredible veg grower, and she really does excel in all things, edible. Her tomatoes are legendary. So I crept home for a sort of a lovely week this summer. So it was just her and me, and cooking and eating her fresh veg.
Okay.
All
Amazing.
week long. It was heaven. And she's got more energy, Patty, than I do, for sure, than all of us. She never, ever stops. And she's a great fisherman too. This year, her 90th year, she landed a salmon, I promise you. She's quite a little person, and the salmon was almost 3 times as big as she was.
She's extraordinary.
I know, she's pretty remarkable.
So just dipping back into the
Yes.
colour, talking of clashing reds and pinks and your garden, I've kind of abandoned any effort to be remotely tasteful now, and I prioritize plants that grow. So I'm kind of putting really extraordinary colours together. But going back to your Radicchio, I found this really beautiful salvia, because it's that quite interesting bluey red with a bit of magenta, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good one, isn't it?
And I love the hot pink. So Ranguali is this really, really vibrant, almost Schiaparelli pink, isn't it?
Yes, gorge.
And sort of toned down with that bluish note of red, and then why not throw in a lovely orange with it as well, and have fun. Yeah, so I mean, our pots this year are unashamedly hot, bright, and clashing.
Nice. Yes, my taste in color and color combination and restraint have changed so much, because I think there was a time when I thought, I must sort of exercise restraint and taste, and I kind of cast that aside in the most almighty heave-ho, because I find it all too tasteful and a bit boring.
I mean, you've got really joyful trainers on.
I do like I've got a great pair of red dungarees, which I adore. And I'm not ashamed to wear them. And so I do like wearing a bit of color.
You will wear strong colours too.
Yeah, Deco.
So we're walking through Butter's beautiful kitchen, which again, not a surface, is free. It's just exquisite.
It's so true. I can't help myself.
And out into your heavenly garden. Have you done a big cut down?
Well, this is a wildflower meadow that runs down the middle of the garden, which brings untold amounts of interest and joy.
So for listeners to try and visualise, it's a classic, London semi-detached garden, 15, 20 metres long.
Exactly.
And you've just done this wildflower patch through the middle with a little kind of path of lawn all the way around it. But it's beautiful, isn't it?
It really captures my imagination, because it's so different. Every year it's so different, because the wildflowers kind of come and go. And so one year it might be very pink with red campion.
Okay.
And then the next year it might be quite white with, the oxeye daisies. And then the water bowl. I really do feel like gardens need water of any description. I mean, literally even a bird bath, because I can't tell you how many insects come and have a little sip. You see the bees. Look, there's one right there. And the birds bathe. You know, the birds love it. Yeah, they really get in there and have a good old splish splash.
So, Butter, moving on now, we're going to talk about your youth. And if I remember when we asked you what your colours were previously, I think you've been a bit of a greedy minx here, haven't you?
Sorry.
You kind of...
Can't help myself.
No, I know. But I think you went for 4 colours here. So can you tell us what they are?
Well, the 3 that I sort of stood out for me in my youth were London Clay, Salon Drab, and Mouse's Back.
That's a huge shift from where you were in your childhood.
Yeah. I grew up on a little farm and we had ponies, and I spent a lot of time in jodhpurs and brown boots and tweed coats, and had a really great liver chestnut pony called Spice. So I spent, I was out mucking out stalls, and brown seemed to be a color that didn't show the dirt, that so I love that. And also we were kind of grubby children, and the brown, I remember wearing a lot of brown. And tweed, of course, is such a gorgeous mix of all those colors, I sort of feel.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because London Clay it's got that lovely lick of magenta through it. It makes it very warm and very approachable, I think. And then Mouse's Back, everybody loves Mouse's Back. It's that lovely kind of pale green brown, isn't it? Just a good mudroom, boot room colour.
Yes.
It's a good colour for anything. And then Salon Drab, one of my favourite colours.
It's a good colour.
It's a good, dark, sophisticated brown.
Yeah, Salon Drab really looks good outside too.
It's quite an interesting colour, actually, because I always try and convince people that browns, which most people kind of get that weird 70s vibe, but actually I always say unbelievably chic, but always see browns as neutrals. They're just stronger neutrals. But it's quite nice when you drive around the Cotswolds. I'm not far. I'm just about 20 miles north of the Cotswolds. And when you drive around, everybody had that really irritating, ubiquitous sage green. Yes. It's like, oh, Yawnsville. And now I'm kind of seeing dark brown coming in, which looks so much nicer with Cotswold stone. It's much smarter.
It's much smarter. Yeah. Smarter, isn't it? Yeah, and again, green looks so good against brown. As you say, it is... the green leaf, the green grass, the green of any, plant and foliage looks great against the Salon Drab, I think.
So essentially, these colour references, are you being a mucky outdoor scallywag?
Yeah, a bit of
in jumpers.
Well, exactly.
I'm glad you mucked out.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's quite good, because most children are quite petulant about getting up at 6 to go to the stables to move horse muck.
Exactly. We were the kids who smelled at school too, So
were you?
There was a
Did you have many friends, darling? Oh, here comes Stinky.
I know, there were a few of us, so we all huddled together. But, that smell of manure, you cannot, you can't get rid of it, you can't get rid of it. So
my sister was the big one. My middle sister and I used to do a bit of pony clav and stuff, but couldn't be arsed with the mucking out and all the stuff. Yeah, my elder sister was huge.
Yeah.
And we did call her Stinky, because she always smelled.
Yeah. Yeah, always.
So when she used to come and clean the tack, we're like, can you go and wash yourself with saddle soap too, because you honk.
Yeah, I think that might have been me too. So there we go. So brown kind of reminds me of all that. It was a very happy time there in my life. So I, smelly or not.
Do you take up the horse here at all? Do you go to Hyde Park?
I don't. I rode to quite a high standard in the States. I did some eventing and stuff.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay, good.
And just hopping on board any old body doesn't kind of do it for me. I have to say, my sense of self-preservation, and I think it's from having children and getting old, let's face it, is much, much more acute than it ever was when I was younger. Now I really have to know that I'm on something that is sensible and can do what it needs to do to get me safely from A to B.
And can you ride side saddle and dismount like a lady?
God. No, that is my great-grandmother was a great equestrian, and there's some gorgeous portraits of her about the place riding side saddle.
Really?
Yeah, she was great at it. But no, I'm not this is far too ladylike for me, Patty. Okay. Far too ladylike for me.
So, Butter, come here. I found a kind of quiet corner, and you've got 3 very traditional oils.
So my grandfather was a great man for the horses, and he was a general manager at a racetrack in the States. And it's sort of a triptych, and they're tiny, but they came from him.
Okay, so...
And it's a real nod to my love of them and my childhood, and the colour brown.
Yes, I think the mouse's back and the London clay and everything.
Yeah. This is, as you say, possibly the most subdued bit of the whole entire drawing room, but it's all right.
But it's a very different kind of feeling, isn't it, to everything else? Everything else is very joyous and quite impressionistic, and you've got these kind of very classic, kind of sober oils in the corner.
Exactly. I think there's room for everything, though, don't you?
Yeah. Of course there is.
Yeah.
But moving on into your defining decade, and
God,
so
I'd
love to know.
Still defining.
Is it? I know. I suppose that's quite tricky, isn't it? Really, going, what is it? And I was like, well, actually, it kind of changes all the time. But can you tell everybody what your colours are and why they sort of resonate so much for you?
My colours, not surprising, are cock green and Yeybridge green. And
Green?
Green.
How odd.
Surprise, surprise. I really love, as you know, the colour green. I don't know what it is about the colour green. My front door is green, my gate's green, my seat cushions and cushions in here. There's a lot of green in the house. Green wallpaper up the front hall. I just feel, as a gardener, it's the colour that makes me happiest. And I think these two colours, Yeybridge and cock, are real stunners too. There's great depth in them, and particularly cock, I think, is really
it's beautiful,
wonderful.
It's lovely. It's really nice. I haven't used it so much, actually. I think I moved, and weirdly, my preference for green has shifted to Yeybridge.
Yes.
For that really joyful, verdant spring green.
Yes.
And I used to use coke a lot. It's a lovely, lovely green. But there's a kind of a big fear, and I don't know whether you get this, because I know you said it brings you joy, but also it's very relaxing. And it is that nature thing. It's nurturing. Definitely. It's calming. There's no battle. Well, there is battle sometimes with weeds and bindweed and all those annoying things. But yes.
The garden, I think, and the colour green really is my sort of reset mechanism.
Okay.
At the end of a long week, Saturday is often a tricky time for me. I feel a bit low. And all it takes really is for me, in my dressing gown, step into the garden and assess. With
a fag and a martini?
At 9 a.m. It's a very strong cup of coffee. Fag and martini, end of the day. But what I love is just padding around and seeing what needs doing. Okay. And it clears the head and kind of the spirits rise. I enter the garden feeling a bit glum. I leave the garden feeling a bit joyful. So, and I think that is the colour green.
And actually, I'm just next to me on your end table. You've got a huge glass full of, what is that? Green glass chips. Sea glass that you've collected.
Yes, absolutely.
From where? From everywhere? Or?
So everywhere. Okay. Wherever I go, wherever there's a beach, I am like focusing in on what treasure I can find.
And how amazing, because primarily it's nearly all green, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a little tiny bit of blue in there.
Right.
And a little bit of white. That's a good colour, isn't it? That's kind of Yeybridgey, isn't it? This is mostly summers on the Cape, which we used to do very regularly. We haven't been back probably for 3 or 4 years.
And when you say the Cape Cod?
Cape Cod.
Okay, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's plenty of sea glass on the beach there. So.
Right, okay.
And shells. I love a good shell. I love to put shells on top of pots inside so that you're not looking at brown earth. I'm not very keen on looking at earth. So cover.
Oh, do you not use really fine grit?
I don't use. I could use really fine grit, but I find a shell a little bit more decorative.
So just digging back to the defining decade, was this you transitioning from trying a go at interior decoration and then suddenly realizing your passion and your métier lay in garden design?
I think it's when I transitioned from being a married woman to a divorced woman, and I think, and I think for the first time ever, I had the run of the decision-making processes, and I was allowed to paint, the whole what I wanted to paint the whole, and I didn't have to, to put it to a vote. So. Can I be?
I'm not saying this to be remotely controversial. No. When you were married, was this house much more subdued?
Oh yeah,
Was it?
Yeah. Much more tasteful.
Oh, so this is kind of a rebellious decision as well,
kind
in a way.
of, in kind of my, rebirth, as it were.
It's like the Princess of Wales haircut when her and Charles split up kind of thing.
Exactly. So suddenly I had free reign, and the hall was a sort of gorgeous blue with the Colefax and Fowler beautiful carp stair runner, and all handmade and all superb, but was very, very worn thin, having raised 4 children here.
Okay.
So it was all pretty tired, and with the divorce I was given the house, which was, is kind of my savior. I feel like my house is one of my favorite family members.
This is your best buddy.
My best buddy. Yeah. And then I had license to sort of do what I wanted, and the hall really needed doing, so that was almost my first decision. So up went the Coles and Son palm wallpaper and green below the dado rail, and James's white was the white that's sort of on the dado rail and the ceiling. Right, so it's just good greeny white, isn't it, James?
Yeah, it is.
Do you say, oh my God, who has to dust your house? And I'm like, well,
nobody. Don't look too close.
Exactly. I mean, who cares if there's dust?
You've got wonderful jugs, some lusterware jugs, and those lovely sort of slip creamer cows, which I haven't.
I know. So it's a real melange of tastes and periods and styles, but basically it's just the things that I rather love.
Yeah,
and
that's what a home should be full of, isn't it?
The pink luster was my first passion, and then I went on to collect the sort of green floral plates, and it's all just about nature and green and flowers, really, quite honestly.
So now we're on the last furlong. We're talking about the colour of where butter is now. So
today,
can you share the colour and what now looks like, what now means to you, and why that colour is relevant?
Well, Charlotte's Locks, as we have kind of discussed before, is, I feel like, the colour that really is me now. Orange. There's a lot of orange here in the drawing room and sprinkled throughout the rest of the house in moderation. The great thing about orange, you don't need a lot of it, do you? You need a smattering of it.
No, it's like animal print.
Yeah, exactly. And I really feel like it's kind of me feeling really happy and well, and me loving, the boldness of orange and being brave enough to have orange, around the place. Not everyone can cope with orange.
No, but actually, weirdly, because we've talked about it, we've referenced the interior of your bookshelves in here with the grey. And because it's kind of rather beautifully lit, the interior, it's bright but not shocking or in your face, is it? And because it's so dressed, there's just little notes. It's not a full-on thing, is it?
Exactly.
And I think it's judicious use, isn't it?
You just need little dabs of it, don't you, about the place? Orange candles and, orange lampshades and orange cushions, and I think the colour sits very beautifully again against the grey and with the grey.
If you believe in colour psychology.
Okay, I
think I slightly sit on the fence. Well, if you don't like yellow, you don't like yellow. It doesn't matter whether it makes you feel energized
sunny or not.
Sunny.
Yeah.
But yellow, like orange, are those kind of energy fizzing colours, so kind of good for creatives.
Yes. Well, it sparks joy, and I love growing orange flowers too. I spend a lot of
favorite orange flower on the spot.
Tulip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always. Parrot tulip.
Exactly.
Okay.
Want any of those great orange parroty tulips? Heaven, apricot parrot, or
GM?
I
like a GM.
I know, I love
GM.
I've got a lot of GM.
Okay.
So nasturtiums,
Okay. Yeah.
And then you bring them in and you're surrounded by even further orange, and it just kind of works for me.
So coming back to Charlotte's Locks briefly, most people know because it's quite a punchy colour for Farrow. So it's not a shrinking violet. It sits there on the colour chart with a few trumpets around
Yes, kapow.
Does the colour give you anything else now?
Again, I think it's kind of the symbol in my mind of my confidence.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a bold statement painting.
Yeah.
Even the smallest inside of bookshelves, Charlotte's Locks. And I just thought, let's give it a go. And that confidence has come just with, not caring quite so much about what everyone might think and not.
That's very freeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The older you get.
Yeah.
I still have days where I feel like I don't give a two hoots.
Monkeys.
I nearly said shit.
Yeah.
I can keep that in.
We can keep that in.
I don't give a shit about what other people think.
Yeah.
Then I do have really insecure days where I just think
Yes.
everybody thinks I'm bloody useless or
Right.
irritating.
Oh,
and it's really funny, isn't it?
Isn't it?
But I do think it's waning. Because I think I've carried that baggage from a young age.
Too long. Yeah. I think I think a little bit of self-doubt is no bad thing.
No.
But I think as we get older, it's awfully nice, as you say, to kind of drop that heavy bag, isn't
Yeah.
it? And feel confident most of the time going forward that you might be doing things the right way.
Yeah.
And those low moments, which I get on a Saturday when I think, oh my God, it's kind of full circle, isn't it? You come back to being cheered up by the confidence that orange color gives you, and having the confidence to not care so much, which is nice, isn't it?
Which is a good note for all of us to take away. So, Butter, this is the moment where I gift you a colour. But this is a really beautiful archive colour called Danish Lawn. It's a really vibrant grass green. I mean, it's quite literal. Almost Kermit green.
Oh
it's
my
so
God, how
vivid.
exciting, Paddy.
So we're renaming this Meadow Green for you, because I know your beautiful garden outside with your wildflower meadow, your seasonal wildflower meadow and everything. So here's a little pot
Thank
of
you,
meadow
Paddy.
green
Look at
for
that.
you. So
Gosh, that is the nicest
I know you love
present.
green.
Give me more green. I'm delighted with this. This is such a generous present. Thank you. I will let you know where it goes.
Okay.
I have a good shed door that it might look rather good on, actually.
Well, we better send the right finish then.
Side note.
So, Butter, it's been such a joy to be here. Thank you.
On that happy note.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
If you would like to follow Butter, her Instagram is @ButterWakefield. You can also follow us at Farrow. And of course, you can discover all the colours we've talked about today on our website. And there's quite a few because she was kind of greedy.
Sorry.
And if you've enjoyed this conversation, please tell your friends. The Chromologist is a Farrow and Feast collective production. The producer is Sarah Cudden. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. What fun.